Hello, YouTube. I hope you're having a fabulous Sunday. It looks like it's nice outside. I ordered me some DoorDash for breakfast. It's on its way. But quickly, I wanted to talk about what I just seen on Tubi. And it's been on the list. You know how something flash across your TV, but you don't watch it because you think it's going to be redundant or whatever. So the name of it is Love You to Death for Love or Money. It came out last year. It's 54 minutes, and it's just I wasn't gonna talk about it because it's a little redundant. But this case, I don't know this man, but it's just one of those cases that it just hurts your heart because first of all, her name is Yulama Curry Walker. She is the most trifling bitch ever, and it's so many stories like this, and it's just sad because she's in jail for the rest of her life, as she should. And she killed this man. This man was good to her. I mean, this man, first of all, you know, it's sad because, he grew up in a single parent household. And I think that's why he was drawn to her. And I wanted to talk to my fellas today because you got to be careful because not all single mothers are created equal. And I just wanted to put that out there. And to be honest, it wasn't until I got a little older and I'm watching all these documentaries. This is why a lot of men don't want single moms. So this woman, she ain't never been nowhere. She country. She meets this fireman. He's tall, dark, and handsome, and he's a great guy. He was divorced. She was never married. She had 3 children. So that's red flag number 1 because we all make mistakes. But for her to have 3 kids, okay. So she has 3 kids, and the fact that she was able to get a man at all with 3 kids is a miracle. I'm just keeping it real. She had 3 children, and this man embraced her and took all her children in. And then he marries her. Mind you, she was dying from cancer, right? She was dying from, and so instead of getting Medicaid like you supposed to do, have insurance, his ass, because he's such a, and his coworkers and family spoke, well, his family wasn't on the documentary, but his coworkers, and they was like, yo, he was that type of dude. He was a very caring, and that's, I gotta talk to my people with big hearts. You gotta be careful because I have a big heart like that, and I could see myself, I got benefits. I would want to help somebody, but you gotta be careful. You have to, and this is a message for my fellas and just for people in general who have big hearts. You have to be careful. So this hoe was dying of cancer, and he nursed her to health. Like, he would come from work, he would make sure she had her medicine. She was going through chemo, like she really did have cancer, and she was about to pass away. And due to the good insurance and everything, she lived. Like, it's because of him that she lived through this cancer. Most people would have been like, oh, you don't have your own insurance? Oh, well, whatever. And no, he was like, well, let me marry her so she could have my insurance so she could live. That's love. If that's not love, I don't know. Like, he loved her so much to be like, I'm not just going to take you, give you a ride to the appointments. I'm going to make sure you have insurance, for your cancer. And because of him, she lived, literally. Because if it wasn't for his insurance, she wouldn't have been able to go to chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is expensive, and I don't even know if Medicaid covers it, but he had good insurance, working for the fire department and everything. And, because of him, she lived. And in return, she sets up she was a big spender, and they was in debt. Now, most men would have filed for divorce, like, yo, da-da-da-da. He didn't even threaten divorce with her. There was no mention of divorce, nothing. In spite of everything, he still loved her so much and unconditionally. And I think what it was is he wanted love so badly. Having an absentee parent, or the parent could be in a household, just wanting to be loved. And it's like, trying to hold back tears because it's just that wanting to be loved and the person don't care for you back. You have to be careful with that. And it's so many men, because we always talk about women, but there's so many good men that they with these rotten women. And it just pisses me off, and it's like, it's just sad, and he was a good guy and he was there for her and nursed her ass to health. She had cancer and that's how she repays him. It's sad. That's how she repays him. And that's just my message for today. Is just be careful. There was no way of him knowing, but the red flag was her spending his money and just being in debt and stuff like that. And I guess he didn't know how bad it was, but too bad he didn't file for divorce. Too bad he didn't want to walk away. She killed him for insurance money. He was smart enough to put it for his children and not her. So I think he probably knew what was up, because her name wasn't on his insurance policy. It was his children. So that's what made the case so crazy, because it's like you killed him for insurance for money that wasn't even yours. It was for his children, and it's just so sad because a lot of the Snapped episodes, because this was on Snapped as well, a lot of them were good men taking care of their wives, and their wives are just rotten ass people. We talk about trifling men. There's a lot of trifling women out here too. There's a lot of trifling people, period. And those of you who got big hearts, just be careful, man. If somebody dying from cancer, I don't know. I wish he would have let her die. God forgive me, but he should have let her ass die from cancer. Because look what happened. He nursed her to health and then she kills him. That really, I don't know him, but that just pisses me off. Because he was a man with a big heart. She was a single. You got 3 fucking kids. Nobody probably wanted her ass. And then you get this guy, this really good guy. You catch cancer. Most niggas will be like, wait a minute. You got 3 kids, no insurance, and cancer? Bitch, bye. My DoorDash came. I had some of it. It's alright, But yeah, so in that story with that hoe, she was a single parent and he should have left her ass as a single parent. And it's sad because you have a lot of good men that they don't want to date us that's single, that's actually have stuff going for ourselves. I'm not a user. I've never used a man. I'm actually that woman that will help a man. And that's my problem. And, I don't get appreciated. And then you have females like that end up with really good men and they kill them, or they use them. And it's like, it's just so crazy how life is, the best people end up with the most horrible people. But I wanted to let people know that those of you have benefits like me, you have stuff going for yourself, you just have to be very careful. You have to be, it's better to be safe than sorry. And I remember even with my ex, he, the Army ex, he said how he doesn't want to marry somebody that's outside the Army because he don't want to get used. And it made sense, even though, we were together and stuff. Yeah. He let it be known, he's kind of hesitant. I had broke up with him, but I don't think he didn't really have no intentions of marrying me because I'm not from the Army, And so 11 months after I broke up with him, he actually married somebody that was, I think, in the Army. So that's that. But I brought that up to say it's understandable because you got so many women that's users. And, a lot of men don't even know that they being used, because they'll say it, especially like the older generation. They'll be like, oh, it's a man's job to provide and this and that. But when you really sit down and think about it, if that person don't have nothing to offer you but their vagina, you getting used. That's basically somebody using you, you know? And it's like we gotta raise our sons to want more out of a relationship. Like, does she actually treat you good? Is she actually nice to you? Does she make you want to be a better man? Does she make you want to go to God in prayer? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does she do for you beside spend your money? And this is a classic case of that. And, I think a lot of men like that. In the documentary that I saw today, he was raised by a single mom, and sometimes that could be something negative. Like, I teach my son straight up, listen, if you go into the movies with a girl, you pay for the ticket, she needs to pay for the popcorn. And some people might say, oh, I'm wrong for teaching him that. Listen, my son ain't no sucker, okay? And they used to put it on Facebook, and it's like, y'all better be raising independent women, because I'm not raising my son to be an ATM. And I think that's the misconception of male and female roles. It is not a man's job to make sure that you have insurance. Get your own insurance. What the fuck? Like, I am so against that. Yo, I cannot wait to the day that my son is getting married to a hoe that don't have nothing. Because that wedding, I will stop that wedding. He's not, like, I'm not allowing it. You're not doing, no. What is wrong with her that she can't get up out of her ass and get her own insurance? And people talk about prenuptials, whatever. You don't have to sign no prenuptial if everybody is paying their own way. My homeboy right now, right? Him and his wife, everything is 50-50. And at first I was like, damn. But no, at least he knows that she's not using him. Even when they were dating, they went Dutch. And I don't blame him, because he knows that she really loves him, that she's not using him for money. So if they break up, at least it's other things. It's not going to be because X, Y, and Z. But it's so many men that get used out here. And it's like, it's funny because when a woman does it, right? When a woman pays for a man, we say, oh, he's using you. But when a woman does it, that's not using a man, that's using somebody. That is using somebody. And it's not right. And we need to teach our sons to pick better. If you, and to my children, my teenagers who watch me, if you have a little summer job or something, or like my son, he got an after school job, and the bitch you like, she don't, please do not spend no money on her. Don't feel bad for her and say, oh, no. Okay, she don't have an after school job. Where's her allowance, right? So she needs to pay for something. Because that's how people use you. I'm telling you, because I've been used before. And people, when they see that you're a nice person, they will use you, right? The dude I told y'all who he passed away from cancer, he used me. I never slept with him, but he definitely used me. Every time we went out, I was paying. Then he borrowed money from me and didn't give it back. After the second time, I was like, no, that's it. But he was such a horrible person. So him dying from cancer, like, I feel bad. But he was a fucked up person when he was alive. And I was not the only one that he played. So, it's like, it's terrible. Like, that bitch was dying from cancer. He should have let her die from cancer. He should have let her die. Because what happened? She recovered from cancer and then killed him for insurance money that wasn't even hers. Like, and they said that in a documentary. Like, that's what makes the story so bizarre. Because she's so much of a narcissist that she thought that the kids is stupid and that they gonna surrender. No, ain't nobody stupid. The insurance money was left for the children, his children, not yours. He's smart, so he probably knew in his heart what it was. But this story just really messed my head up. To all my fellas, do not sit there and play stepdad to no hoe that don't have her own shit. I can't stress that enough. And some people might say I'm coming from a place of hateration. No. Do not sit there and be no babysitter for nobody. Do not sit there and give no bitch no money. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because in the end, you're going to see that she played you. And then it's going to make you bitter. And then you're going to do it to somebody else. Let's stop the cycle. Let's stop the tomfoolery right now. Right? And, it's Sunday. And yeah, I just had to talk about that because I was like, yo, I don't know this dude. But, yo. And the woman's name was Awesome. She had an ugly name. Awesome Curry Walker. Right? And she's in jail for the rest of her life. As she should. As she fucking should. Terrible human being. Just terrible. You had 3 kids. And somebody took you serious? You actually had an opportunity to have somebody actually wanted your ass and married you with 3 kids. And you had cancer. And you had a nerve to kill him? Most dudes, first of all, don't even want you past 1 kid. That's just the reality. I'm just keeping it real. And then he marries you. And then he's taking care of your kids, his kids. Like, what the hell? And then you kill him for insurance money that's not even yours. That's some stuff you just can't make up. And it's sad because she's a black woman. And statistically, a lot of us don't get married because of hoes like her. That's why. That's exactly why. We don't have a lot of men. We don't. We're the minority group. And then the men that are left that's good, they getting killed and ambushed by hoes like her. It just pisses me off. It really does. Because it's like, yo, I know I'm a good woman, and it's like, I digress. Those are my thoughts.